I think he'll be forced to fight and probably show you a Shakur Stevenson that none of us thought, he could beat.
This is Danny Gathone for Pro Boxing Fans. It's a pleasure to see the champ, a man I've not seen since Saudi Arabia, Antonio Tarver. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, man. Enjoying the game, man. I'm excited for Tampa this week. We got a big fight. Jake Paul is coming to town against Mike Perry. So, it's going to be an exciting weekend for Tampa, man. Anytime a big boxing match come to town.
I got to say, it's my first time in Tampa. What a place this is before we get into the boxing. We're here, as you say, Jake Paul taking on Platinum Mike Perry. From your eye, as one of the best ever, how do you sum up Jake's progression? When he first tried his hand at boxing, a lot of naysayers, people doubting him. He's a YouTuber, he's a streamer, whatever. I feel like he's starting to get more credit now. Do you think that's deserved?
Yeah, it is deserved. Anybody that stick with it, you feel me, through the ups and downs and persevere has to be commended. You feel me? And he looked good on the mitts. His style, he's finding his style, his rhythm coming together a lot better. So anything, you do a lot of and you put your heart into it, you're going to perfect it. And I can see his progression is really coming along. We'll see more tomorrow, you know what I mean? And hopefully, the Mike Tyson fight still goes and we can have a spectacle there with both of those two giants.
As you alluded to there, he was supposed to fight Mike Tyson. Mike had some health problems. We've got Platinum Mike Perry, and as I say, how familiar you were with Mike Perry? Obviously, he's more known as an MMA guy. He's known as having that dog in him, as they say. How did you sum him up watching him today on the pads? I don't know how much of his fights you watched before. How much of a test do you think he's going to pose for Jake Paul?
Well, I think he's going to come out. I think what he has going for him is his attitude and his attitude. Once that goes, I don't know what else he has as far as skill-wise. You feel me? I think unless he lands something big and something, catch, Jake with something big, I don't know if he can beat Jake round for round. Jake has good rhythm with his hands now, you feel me? And man, he's punching. So, Mike going to have to keep his head on a swivel, man, if he want to make it to the final round. He's going to have his head on a swivel. I think with how hard Jake Paul is punching and the way he looks so trimmed and looks like he's in great shape at 200 pounds, he's going to be punching hard. So Mike going to have to find a way to avoid those shots.
There'll be fireworks for sure. Just a couple of quick ones before I do let you go, champ. As I said at the start of the interview, the last time we spoke was in Saudi Arabia. That was, of course, for Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk. I know it's been a while, but people will want to hear your thoughts. How did you see that fight? A lot of people think it was close. Some people had Usyk winning wide. How did you break it down?
It was very close. I think Tyson lost it right there in the 8th and 9th round when Usyk had those big moments. And if it wasn't for those huge moments, you can easily see Tyson winning a decision. So, back to the drawing board. You know what I mean? It's important, Tyson figure it out, what happened, and make sure it don't happen again. I thought he was out front for the first 5 rounds, and then all hell broke loose when Usyk turned it on. And great for him. He made that fight close. He dropped him. He hurt him. It was close down the stretch. Usyk had the most dominant rounds by far. And I think Tyson could have won more rounds. But, hey, that's why we have the rematch. Both fighters got a chance to go back to the drawing board and get better. Who's going to move that needle? That's what we're all excited to see.
Absolutely. A lot was made after the fight. We saw corner footage of 2-3 voices on at one time in Tyson's corner. People saying, his dad saying one thing, Sugar Hill's saying the next. You got Andy Lee. As a fighter yourself, is that conducive to a good performance? 3 voices all shouting at you at once?
Well, again, man, it was a lot of pressure. It's a lot at stake. And, we only human. You know what I mean? So we're going to react. Especially when all the chips are there. We pushing in. This for undisputed. So maybe they just got out of character a little bit because of the pressure. But, hey, moving forward, they're going to have to tighten that up. And I think I can see room for improvement on both of these fighters' part. But what decision they make to get better, that's who's going to win that next fight in the rematch. And I think it's vitally important for Tyson Fury, man, to get it right.
Roll on December. Last thing I want to get your thoughts on. feels like certainly this side of the pond, the fight people want to see the most is Gervonta Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson, boxer versus puncher. Although that's maybe not giving Tank his credit. How do you break that fight down?
That's a tough fight, man. It's a chess match, to say the least. You got power and you got technique. You got a guy that got some of the best feet in the game, and you got a guy like Gervonta that his energy is unmatched in the ring. So, but when I look at that fight, I just believe that I don't see Shakur moving enough to avoid Tank Davis all night. I think Tank IQ in the ring allow him to cut the ring off and get to Shakur. Unless Shakur is on his bicycle, and that's it. And I don't think he'll make a fight like that and just run all night. I think he'll be forced to fight and probably show you a Shakur Stevenson that none of us thought, he could be in a fight like that. You know what I mean? But a lot of the fans want to see him do something extraordinary before the fight, and that might not happen.
What do you make of some of the criticisms you get? People do call him a runner, especially his last performance, the De Los Santos fight, feels like maybe public opinion's gone slightly against him. Is that fair, or is that just his style?
Well, again, he's in the same weight class as one of the most dominant, electrifying fighters in the game. So, of course, they're drawing comparisons. His fight just don't have the excitement as a Tank Davis fight. You know what I mean? But that don't mean they can't make an exciting fight together. And we know these are the two top-tier fighters in their weight class. When Shakur fight these guys, he hardly ever get hit. You feel me? Especially hit with significant shots. But he tried to put his butt on the line a little bit in his last fight. And I thought he had some exciting fights, exciting rounds. But he need more of that, a little bit more aggressiveness. You know what I mean? Stay in the pocket a little bit more. And you'll be surprised how effective you can be. You might be the puncher that everyone say you're not. But you just got to stay in there a little bit and mean business. Try to hurt these guys. You know what I mean? Be more deliberate on your punches. You know what I mean? That's all he has to do. Mean business when he land them. You know what I mean? There's a few techniques he can learn to improve his punching power, but he has to get the lessons.
Do you think we will see the fight? Do you think it'll happen?
I think it'll happen. I think it'll have to. If both of these guys continue to win, they're on a head-on collision.
Well, Antonio, I will let you go. Appreciate you probably want to get off. They're tearing the ring down around us, so we will go. Thank you, brother.
Always a
appreciate
pleasure.
it.
Thank you.